Now we get to some really fun things. If you can't get some of these things right away, give it time. They didn't come to us right away, but I think you'll have a lot of fun with these patterns. We're actually going to pick up right where we left off the intermediate sequence from the position that we were in. The first thing that Sarah's going to do is a développé. And a couple things I'd like for you to notice when we do développé or développé, depending on how people want to call it, sometimes I just call it a kick, is that she's stepping back on the 1 count, and that takes up the first beat. Her knee is going to be coming up on the 2nd count and extending out on the 3rd count. And you're going to kind of have to rush that just a little bit because she's got to step forward with a heel lead on the next step. So you don't want to leave your foot extended for too long, because then you have to rush out in the next portion. What this whole sequence looks like, this first part of this sequence, looks like, I want to demonstrate first, then we'll go back up and pick up some of the other parts of it. So the first thing she's doing is développé. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? That's the first part of that. And like I said, the first thing she's doing is développé as she steps into that. Okay? And as you can see, she steps back on 1. Guys, you're just stepping forward with your foot. You're kind of giving her a nice place of support. You're holding your arms up. And most important, try and keep your head over your supporting heel. Don't lean towards the lady. Don't lean too far back away. If you use some of the contra body action we were talking about earlier of keeping your, in this case, I should be standing on my left foot, my right rib cage, hip, and shoulder are going to be moving slightly towards that left leg and left foot to help give me a little bit of an opposition in my own body. That'll help me hold on. It will allow me to keep my back leg extended and pointed so that I have a nice looking position. I want to be a background for the ladies' position. Ladies, at this point, you're going to try and look more towards the center of the floor and actually look across the floor, perhaps at the audience or the judges or whoever might be sitting on the other side. You're looking away from the man. Men, if you look at the lady at this point here, it gives it a very nice interaction. Your energy is coming towards the lady's is going out to the audience. It all kind of ties together. The hand position wants to be very relaxed, very natural in this position. So what that first thing looks like, the lady's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next part of that step is actually the most difficult part for the men. Men, you can see I'm staying in the middle. I'm allowing the lady, as I step into this first part, to swing back, and I'm here at point A. Here's the lady's point A. So she's doing that kick at point A. Now she's going to move from point A to point B. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm creating the illusion of movement with my feet. But my center isn't really moving anywhere. That's very important for you to notice. A lot of guys, when they do this step, lead the lady. They try and pull her out. Now the lady can't get past the man. So guys, you want to allow the lady's footwork to pass you. I'm not stepping back with this foot. I'm leaving it on the spot. Relax for a second. My next step is coming to here together. My third step is going to be moving in the direction I now want to go, which is line of dance. Ladies, as you're stepping out of this, you're just doing a twinkle action. You're stepping forward. But you want to be careful, after you've done your kick and you step forward, of not taking too long of a step with the second step, because you want to change your direction and go back the other way. If you do a very long second step, you're going to lose ground on your third step, and your momentum is going back the other way. The guy's going to start pulling you. So to give this a nice soft look as you move through this, first the développé. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay? We're going to do that from the other side now, so you can see the back side. So we're stepping here, and you can see we're going to be looking towards the curtains at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay? The next part of that's really, really important. We'll go back to our original direction. After she's done the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm stepping down the line of dance backwards. the lady stepping forward the line of dance. And all I'm going to do with the hands now is the same kind of a loop position, bringing the hand into a reverse wrap that we did just a minute ago. So we're just going to go right through that. Guys, you're staying in the center again. So as the lady comes by for 1, 2, 3. As we move to there, you see we've just gone to a reverse wrap. Again, the important thing on this step is, guys, you've not allowed the lady to pass you. Ladies, once you do pass the man, allow him to stay even with you. So we have that 1, 2, 3. Okay, the next part of this step, the man's going to be doing a check action, allowing the lady to get, so you can get to an open side-by-side position. This is still the line of dance we're going to go, so I'm doing 4, 5, 6. And you can see we're side by side. We didn't move down the floor very far. The lady didn't try and go straight down the floor as she moved into that. So we're going to do those first 4 measures a little bit faster this time. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Right there, what's happening, as the man does his check on the 4, 5, 6, he's doing a check action, allowing his second step to come up behind him a little bit as the lady starts to pass, and then pushing into his third step so he can get up beside the lady. Ladies, as you're coming around, you're not really trying to go down the floor very much. You're trying to stay in line with the man, but you definitely want to come across the line and get to the inside of the floor, because where you're at right now is the outside of the floor. And you're stepping forward, forward, you're turning and landing. And you can be side by side here, you can be kind of facing your partner. The position we had was the side by side position. Next part of this pattern. At this point we're in a side by side position. The next thing we're doing is we call an open side lock, which is bam, step, step. We've locked the foot behind. It stopped us here. At this point, we're ready to do a turn to keep on moving down the line. It's just a simple turn for the 4, 5, 6. So we're going to look at that from the back side now. You're in the open side-by-side position. You're going to an open side lock. The lock portion is when I hook the foot behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Now the whole step in its entirety looks like this. We're in a position that we ended the intermediate sequence with. You can also pick this up from a closed dance position if you happen to be there. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got to scoot around here. Space. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're ready for the next pattern. Back in just a minute. Okay, the next part of this pattern is very similar in its intro to what you did on the intermediate portion. The only difference is I'm going to let the lady do a free spin on 4, 5, 6. In the intermediate step, the step looked like this. It went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get to here. We're now side by side, and this is what the step looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we finished the open side lock and the solo spin here. The next part of this sequence looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what we're doing in there are some things that are very similar to what we did on the intermediate portion of this take. We're changing some things now, and the man's doing a little bit more to make it a little bit more advanced. You can see we're doing some free spins there. Okay, so we started in the open side-by-side position after the open side lock and the solo spin. At this point here, you're allowing the lady to step forward as the man steps forward, and then you're going to bring her back so that she turns underneath your left hand. And on the 4, 5, 6, you're going to free the hand up and just let her keep turning. So ladies, you're going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Guys, you're just going to walk forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At this point here, gentlemen, you've let go of the one hand, you've left your left hand out, and you've gone to what we call a patty cake position. Now we're going to do some of those basic turns that I showed you at the beginning of this tape. As we go through, we're going to hit a patty cake position on the other side at the end of the 1, 2, 3. So we're doing 1, 2, 3 to here. And now at this point, we're doing a patty cake on the other side. 4, 5, 6. Now guys, on the next part, to set up the ending of this sequence, you want to allow the lady to turn, but don't turn yourself so you can keep a little bit more floor control. 1, 2, 3. And the last part of this is going to be setting up another développé. All right? So this step in its entirety looks like, so we're going through, the lady's going to turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back in just a second. All right, on the 4, 5, 6, for the finish of that measure, the lady's going to be doing a développé. And because she's stepping back with her left foot and kicking her right foot, she's going to be looking out right now to where the curtain is, or towards the outside of the floor. And then we're going to be doing a twinkle, a rock twinkle, a tandem spin syncopated, another rock twinkle, a tandem spin syncopated for this part of the sequence. What that whole thing looks like, and we'll come back and detail that, is this. And 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Okay? Tandem turns probably aren't new to you at this point in your dancing, but doing a syncopated tandem turn you'll find is kind of difficult in the beginning. And a good way to practice that is to stand side by side in this position here. Say we have the left foot free. And just to try on each part of the step is first of all get the syncopated turn in. So let me demonstrate that first. Whether you're the man or the lady, we both have our left foot free or our right foot free if we're turning to the right. But I'm stepping 1 and 2, 3. And you can see I'm doing 2 full turns there. I'm turning on almost each step to get this in. So as I'm stepping forward on 1 and I'm not turning yet. I'm starting to turn on that foot as I hit and. I'm turning more as I hit 2. Now as I hit 3, I'm not going to just stop there. I'm going to do a half turn pivot on that step so that I can swing forward again on the next step. If you watch us do that together, we're doing a step and step, step. And then we're ready to step forward into the next portion of that. And you can see we're doing, it's a double tandem turn, but you have to turn a lot on the last step of that so that you can get a nice heel lead forward and separate the 2 measures. What a lot of people do when they first start doing this is they do bum, 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 and they throw this foot to the side or things. They don't really compress into 3 as they're turning so they can get a nice heel lead into their next step. Practice that separately, doing the spin, and then when you practice doing it together, don't do it with arms. Try and feel as you move down the floor that as we turn, we can see each other as we go through. We can stay fairly close together. Then after you've done that a couple of times, then try and do it with the hands. As we do a tandem turn with the hands, for those who haven't done tandem turns, as we're turning, you can see the hand needs to rotate around the lady's hand as we're turning. So what that looks like is 1 and 2, 3. And we're ready to step forward, heel lead into the next step. When we're turning to the right hand is working. The right foot is working. as we're going through. We're doing exactly the same thing. So we have 1 and 2, 3. The right foot's ready to go forward. So that's the syncopated turns. The rock twinkle, when we're doing it, I call it a rock twinkle because we're stepping in a straight line, whether we're moving this way or that way. We're swinging forward with the first step of that rock twinkle. The second step is swinging forward as well. We're just kind of rocking there to come back. So it just creates rise and fall, but not movement. So we're getting a lot of movement on the syncopated turn, getting very little movement on the rock twinkle. Again, this helps to create softness as we move through the step. If I combine the two things together, I'm now going to do the syncopated turn to the right and the rock twinkle with the right foot. And that looks like this. 1 and 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm releasing my right hand at the end of that. Guys, you can let it come down to your hip. Ladies, you can let your hand come down to your skirt, whichever you'd like to create styling. At this point here, we're ready to do the syncopated turn underneath the left arm. And that's just the same. After the lady comes out of her developpe that she did here, to get into that, guys, you're faking. So when the lady steps back, because we just finished a 1, 2, 3, now the lady's ready to step back with her left foot. Guys, you're doing 4, 5, 6, and you're just tapping your foot at that point as the lady's done her kick. You can leave your right hand on her back to give her some support as she turns and does her kick. Then you want to let that right hand slide down and come underneath and pick up her. You want to let this left hand slide down and pick up the lady's left hand. Now as you come through and do a turning twinkle here, 2, 3, you let both hands come over your head. Then you do a left foot rock twinkle, 4, 5, 6, and you're set up to do that syncopated tandem turn to the right. So let's do that again. To get to here, you just came out of that turn sequence that we did just a second ago. You have your right foot free, and guys, you're on your own footwork for 4, and you're faking at this point as the lady steps back. You're doing 4, 5, tap. Now you're on the lady's footwork for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're ready for the syncopated tandem turn. 1 and 2, 3. A right foot rock twinkle. 4, 5, 6. A syncopated tandem turn to the left. 1 and 2, 3. Left foot's free for the next part of this sequence. And we'll be right back with that. Okay, next part of this sequence, we're still on the lady's footwork. We're going to do some shadow spirals or serpentines, depending on how you want to call them. We're going to call them spirals. What I'm doing on the first spiral, because we just came out of that syncopated tandem turn, is I'm trying to get in line with the lady for the 1, 2, 3. And you can see we're on the man's footwork there because of some syncopations we just did as far as count. But actually I'm still with the lady. At this point here I'm going to be picking up the lady's hand and we're going to go finish out this step. So what it looks like is we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. That's it. Okay, so that syncopation at the end of that puts us back on normal footwork because the lady's doing a syncopation, the man's doing normal footwork. And so by doing that, the lady, you could say, is actually faking, but it puts us back on our footwork. So when we come out of the syncopated tandem turn, we're here. We're doing some simple spirals, and we're making them look better with some arm action. When I come out of that, I'm just going to lay my hand as man on the lady's arm. She's going to bring her hand around. And guys, you have to have a lot of confidence that she's going to get it there, because if she really uses her skirt nicely, she can flare the skirt out and then just drop the hand on yours right at the end of that measure. So don't freak out and try and start grabbing for it. I know I've done that some in the past. So what you want to do on this first 1, 2, 3 is you just want to lay the hand there, lady's hand will come around, then both hands will come over the head. So we're doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I want to use this spiral turn, and I'm going to use line of dance coming straight at you so that you can get an idea of where the man is going in relation to the lady. As I've come out of that syncopated turn, I've underturned it just a little bit so I'm not quite line of dance, and so has the lady. As we go through this next spiral, I just want to kind of follow her out and stay on her left side, bring my right hand towards her elbow, put it there so she can feel it, and she doesn't have to look for it. She can feel where my hand is. She can just come and sit her. If I put my hand off her arm, she won't be able to feel that. And she's going to have to look for my hand, or I'm going to have to look for hers. If I do this, she's going to be able to bring her hand over and put it right in mine. I can look at her. I can look off towards the line of dance and not worry about where she puts her hand. So as we're doing that, 1, 2, 3. Now in the next part of this, on the 4, 5, 6, I have to allow the lady to cross from my right side to my left side. I do that just by making my steps slightly smaller than hers, and I'm bringing both hands over the head as we do 4, 5, 6. You can see I've kind of kept middle of the road. I've allowed the lady to cross over to this side. Now in the next part of this, the lady's going to do a 360-degree turn coming at you. That's just that simple turn we started off in the beginning, ladies. Guys, you're going to walk forward. You're going to let her stay towards your left side as she goes 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're still on the same footwork with each other. The lady's still going to walk forward, but now she's only going to turn 180 degrees because she wants to end up facing against the line of dance. I'm going to take my steps relatively small as we do this next 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. Okay, now you can see at this point the lady's against the line of dance in relation to me. When we do this next check here, you need to think of stepping behind your partner, bring your opposite shoulder, in this case for the man, his right, and his right hip over his left foot. The lady's going to bring her left shoulder and left hip over her right shoulder and hip over her foot. But we want to step behind our partner so we can create this nice arch line here at this point. All right? So, to create that arch line, we went into a straitjacket, just like you would in two-step or swing. We started it off at the end of the syncopated turns, and we did our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This point here, we did the check. 1, 2. Now, ladies, you need to watch Sarah's footwork. Guys, what you're doing is just kind of stepping back a little bit out of the lady's way. And so what you're doing at this point, guys, is you're doing a 1, 2, 3, and you're ready to walk towards the middle of the floor, to the inside of the floor. Ladies, as you come around from your position, you're doing your check, 1, 2, 3. You're doing a pivot on that left foot so that you're ready to walk towards the middle of the floor for your next step with your right foot free. And you're going to be doing a syncopated turn to the right as you do that. So we were in this arch position here. The man has his left foot free, ready to step forward into the check. The lady has her left foot free, ready to step into the check. And we're doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Now I counted the lady's footwork at that point, 4 and 5, 6. The man's footwork is just 4, 5, 6 to go through. Okay? So let's start from the arch position again. This way a little bit. Show it to you from two different angles so you can get a better idea of what it looks like. Check is 1, 2, slip pivot, 4, 5, 6. Okay? That syncopated turn from this straitjacket position, guys, you're allowing the left hand to pull the lady, both hands are coming over her head, and then at the very end, you're switching the hands back to get to a normal hold. You can also leave the hands there and do waterfalls, which is what we're going to do in the next sequence. If you don't want to do the next sequence, when those hands come off, just let them switch back, and you can go right into a basic or some other position. So let's try and do that step in its entirety. This last part of the step. We've just come out of a syncopated tandem turn. We're ready to do the spirals. So what it looks like is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Okay, we'll be back in just a minute with some more stuff. What this next part of the step looks like is this, and we'll come back and we'll talk about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right? All that right there, they're all serpentines or spirals. And again, I'm going to call them spirals. We finished the last part of the sequence with the left hand over the right. The lady had just finished a syncopated turn while I had just done a normal walking forward. So we're ready for 1, 2, 3. And so this is all straight timing through this part. So as you bring the hands over the lady's head, gentlemen, on the waterfall, you bring the hand there. Ladies, you want to allow that hand just to rest around your shoulder for a second. Guys, you're going to bring your hand down the lady's waist. Ladies, you want to think of bringing your elbow in just slightly, so as the man brings the second hand over, he can get his hand around your elbow. Now, you again let your hand slide down to the waist. Ladies, you can now bring your hands in, and you can push off the man's chest just a little bit, and the hands will slide out to create a nice effect of coming into the man's hands. Okay, so we're getting an effect of pushing each other away. What that looks like, as we do the 3 spirals, you have to be very sure of your footwork as you go back there. On the first one, the first hand is coming over. 1, 2, 3. On the second spiral, the second hand is coming over. 4, 5, 6. Now, on the third one, you're allowing the hands as lady to come towards the man's chest. The man is pushing you away just a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me show that from a different angle as we go across to the other side. So, you've come out of the syncopated turn. As you step, men, you're going to be stepping outside the lady's footwork here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. And we're ready for the next part of that. Okay? On the next part of this, this is a difficult part for the ladies. Ladies, you're going to turn right shoulder back, and as you finish your turn, you have to let your weight settle for a second because you have to switch direction and come back. So watch Sarah's footwork for a minute here as we go through. I'm going to be turning her right shoulder back as I step forward on 4, 5, 6. Sarah stepping 4, 5, 6, and we have 4, 5, 6. The man turns all the way around, and I'll explain that in a second. But ladies, you see how she stopped there? She's ready to walk forward now for a 1, 2, 3. As we wheel around in this back bow position. Again, a 2-step type move. Guys, as you turn the lady, you've just finished your 3 spirals. The third one went 1, 2, 3, and you pushed her away. You've gotten to a double hand hold position. What you're going to do here, as you step on 4, you bring in your hand up over the lady's head, and you're starting to turn on the beat of 5, so that you've turned a full turn between 5 and 6. You're now at this point looking at the lady over your right shoulder, and you bring your right hand on around, put it on her back into her hand. So you're in the back pose position. So guys, you've turned a full turn at that point. What that looks like is you've done 4, 5, 6. You're ready to step forward on 1 into the wheel. Ladies, as you turn and you watch Sarah's footwork at this point, in the double hand hold, she's got her left foot free, and she gets ready to go back for the 4, 5, 6. And you can see now she's almost doing a complete change of direction. What a lot of ladies do is they let that foot swing on back, so the next step of 1 is actually going right into the man's path. Ladies, she's changed to her direction, and now she's walking forward I'm walking forward for that 1, 2, 3. And that part of it is just a simple wheel. Now the lady's stepping forward on 4, and she's going to turn to face me. She's going to be turning to the left. I call this a whiplash. You can call it a swivel. You can call it a pivot. But as she's stepping forward, 4, 5, 6. It's a bit of a hesitation because I'm just stepping one step and I'm holding the 5th and 6th beats. Sarah's stepping one step. We're turning to face each other. The lady does a lot more turn. What's happening with the hands, because we're in this wheel position, I'm allowing Sarah's hand at this point to just rotate in mine. So as she steps forward with her left foot on the 4 and turns to face me, I'm allowing my hand actually to stay right here. And as she unwinds, as she steps forward, go ahead, 4, 5, 6. My hand stayed right there. I didn't try and pull her around. I allowed her momentum to turn her. I might do a little something with her hands there. Let me try that from a different position here. Let's start about right there. So the lady's on the 4. The guy's stepping forward their right foot, ladies with the left, and it's 4, 5, 6. All right, let's go over that whole sequence now. We just came out of the syncopated turn from the previous part of the sequence. The left hand was on top. We're both stepping with the 1, and we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we'll be back to finish off that part of the sequence. Just a second. Okay, this next part of the sequence, the lady's going to be going underneath my left hand, and she's going to go underneath my right hand, and I'm going to go underneath my left hand. We're just alternating spirals, kind of a shadow spiral sequence. And then I'm going to be allowing the lady to do a syncopated turn to get us into a side-by-side position. And that all looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I said 4, 5, 6 at the end of that right there, but the lady's doing a 4 and 5, 6 because she's essentially faking. And let's talk about that first. Guys, when you want the lady to do that right there, you just have to make her move a little bit quicker than what you're doing. And because at this level in your dancing, the lady should be able to feel at this point, as she's standing on her right foot and I'm standing on my left, if I wanted her just to do another one, I would just leave her going at the same speed. But now I want her to syncopate here, and so I'm going to lead her 4 and 5, 6. I'm leading her a little bit quicker. She's doing a syncopated turn that comes across, and let's talk about that. What the lady does is she has the left foot free. She's doing a syncopated turn, and she's going right shoulder back. Okay, she turns. So she's stepping forward here on 4. Now she's doing the and count. She's still going forward. Now she turns, pivot turn type action. You can see how small that step on 5 was. Then she's landing on 6. She's not pivoting anymore on 6. She's just going to land to the side. So again, what that looks like is she's ready to step under, and she's going 4 and 5, 6 as she comes around. Guys, what you need to do at that point, you have your right foot free. The lady's ready to come across. Your footwork, let's just talk about that first, is you're going to go 4, 5, 6. You're just doing step together step. And if you'll notice, as you're doing that, you're stepping 4, 5. Your feet are together on 5. You're stepping on 6. As the lady does her footwork, she's going 4 and 5, 6. Both of us on the count of 5 have our feet together. We're both stepping to the side on 6. And if you can do that, ladies, on your part of the spin, you can get a nice unity as you turn. So as the lady's coming across, I'm standing on my left foot, lady's on her right foot. I have my left hand into the lady's right hand. I need to get hold of her other hand as she comes across. So we're going to stop on the beat of 5 here as the lady goes 4 and 5 and the man goes 4, 5. So we're going 4 and 5. Okay? And we'd finish that out stepping 6. All right. So I just showed you the man's footwork and the lady's footwork. What that looks like together, we're going to stop on the beat of 5 here. We're starting on 4. The lady's doing 4 and 5. And I want you to see how the feet be together, and then we're going to step into 6. So we're going 4 and 5, 6. It creates a nice unity. It's very difficult to tell where the fake comes in is if you can get the footwork that clean. Now you're side by side. No one saw anyone fake. The feet just come together. A lot of people will think the man faked. The man is not faking in that position. Guys, you're leading the lady across very quickly. All right, so this part of the sequence, at the beginning of it, started right after we finished that whiplash, that swivel. The lady's coming under twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The man's going under. 1, 2, 3. Now comes that 4 and 5, 6 for the lady. The guys are just doing 4, 5, 6. 4 and 5, 6. And we're ready for the next part of that sequence, which will come right back. All right. The last part of this sequence and the last part of the advanced step gives you a nice side-by-side move here, which really can move down the floor. We're first of all going to be doing a syncopated chasse, but we're not going to be doing exactly like a chasse. I'm calling it a grapevine action because it travels a bit more. And then the rest of this step is called, I call it a check and go, because the lady will check as I go past, then I'll check as the lady goes past. And then we'll finish it off getting back into a regular dance position. It looks like this. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 1. Good. From a different angle. And 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 1. Okay? That's what the step looks like from a couple different angles. Now, to talk about that just a little bit, the first thing is the syncopated grapevine. What we're doing on that is we're doing a heel lead on 1, but since we're doing it syncopated, as I go across, I'm going to get a heel ball, 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 ball flat as I go through. You can create a little lilting effect as you do it. If you kind of go up a little higher than normal on the second step, you can get a 1 and 2, 3 to create a nice loose look as you move through it. But all I'm doing is I'm lifting on the step of 1 a little bit higher than normal, hitting 2, and then I'm giving it just a little bit of a lift there to come down, but I'm not allowing the foot to lower on the and. I'm going to lower when I get to the 3. That's the syncopated grapevine. For the check and go portion, the turn is exactly the same as what the lady just did a second ago to get into the side-by-side position. Men, you're doing that footwork now. So you just finished the syncopated grapevine. The man's footwork to go past the lady is he's going to step with his left foot, then with his right foot, bring his feet together, and again step with his right foot. If you don't get your feet right together there, that's okay. You can let them swing past a little bit. It's very difficult with the speed of waltz music or where you're at on the floor sometimes to do that exactly, so don't worry about that. I'm showing it to you this way to give an idea of what you're trying to shoot for. So as you're stepping through, 1 and 2, 3. That's what you can shoot for. Whatever you get will probably work really well. Now, for the check portion of it, and again, when the lady goes by, the guy does the check. When the man goes by, the lady does the check portion. The check is you're stepping a heel lead forward. You're allowing your right foot to go back onto the ball of the foot, bringing your feet together, but you're really staying down into your knees and then lifting out. Now, if you're counting that again, you're stepping 1 and 2. And again, both of you have your feet together, stepping out onto the beat of 3. Let's just do the check and go portion of the step together. The first portion, the man goes by. And we're just going to go 1 and 2, leaving the feet together, holding there for a second so you can see that portion of it. And it goes 1 and 2. You see I pass the lady at this point, and we both step 3. As she comes by, we want to try and do the same thing. What you'll notice here, you can really help the lady out, and the lady can really help the man out. As I go to move, I'm not going to take a very big check step forward. I'm actually going to try and move back just a little bit as the lady comes across. So she's doing 1 and 2, 3. And again, we could move together. And you can keep repeating that if you wanted a little bit more distance down the floor. And it creates a nice look of passing each other. So the first portion you are trying to line up first is the check action. Check. Now what happens here is the lady's coming back, guys are moving forward, bringing the feet together, both stepping together. They're both doing the check on the next part. The man's going back now, the lady's going forward, and step. All right? The last portion of this step, the lady's going to hold in place, and all she's going to do is a little movement on 1 to look away from the man. She can be looking at the man at this point, and on 1 she's going to look away. Now she's going to come back to me, 2 and 3. We're ready in a dance position to move into whatever pattern you might want. And if you'll notice Sarah's footwork on that, she's just doing a very simple turn, a pivot turn again, like I showed you at the beginning, as she comes back. She's at point A, she wants to end up at point B. She doesn't want to use me to stop her, so she has to make sure her momentum isn't too much at the end of the spin. So she's at 1, 2, and 3. 1, I'm ready to step towards her to separate that. So what this last portion of the step looks like in its entirety is the syncopated grapevine, the 2 check and goes, and then the little body action and the lady spinning back to the man. So it goes 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 1. Now, just before we put this whole sequence together, when I tie this whole sequence together, the last part of it will sound like it's off phrase. But I've done that really on purpose because a lot of music isn't phrased perfectly. Sometimes they throw an extra measure in here and there. If the music is phrased, what you want to do right at the end of the sequence is instead of bringing the lady back right away, you want to allow her to hold a whole 3 beats out there and then come back 4, 5, 6. And what I mean by that is this. At the very, very end, after the last check and go, when the ladies come past the man, she's out here. And what she wants to do is just draw that out for a 1, 2, 3, and then come back 4, 5, 6, and then you're ready for the 1 count. And you'll see what I mean as we go through the sequence here in just a second. I'm going to do the end of the sequence 2 ways. When I get through the whole sequence, I'm going to do it with the syncopated ending. And then just after that, I'm going to just do the last part of the sequence again, and I'm going to show you what it looks like with the slow ending. Okay, I'm going to pick that sequence up again right towards the end. And right on the grapevine, we were at a 4 and 5, 6. So we did a 4 and 5, 6, 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So either way that you want to end that will depend, and that gives you a little leeway as an advanced dancer that if you're off time, hold the lady out in that position a little bit longer. Ladies, you have to be a little bit more aware when you're dealing with music where the man might change the timing just a little bit to fit the music so that you're not dancing off phrase, so that when the lady spins in, the man can step forward on the 1 count with his left foot and the lady can step back with the right foot. Whereas if the music is not phrased, you could spin her in right away with a syncopated thing like I did with the sequence. We'll be right back. Now you can pick up this advanced sequence right at the end of the intermediate sequence if you'd like. This is what it looks like. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. 1, 2 and 3. Finish there. My wife Sarah and I would like to thank you for joining us today with this Waltz videotape.